Back in December 2025, I unfortunately managed to badly fracture my right humerus bone. As of this video, it has been 6 weeks and I'm still recovering, waiting for the day I can finally remove this brace from my arm. In that time, however, I've come to realise the impact of how losing use of one of your arms has on your life. Not only the day-to-day aspects, but also the one thing that matters most to me, that being game development. During the first week, my right hand was incredibly swollen, so I was unable to use it. So the first adaptation that had to come into play was getting used to using my left hand to use the mouse. One minor adjustment I made was to swap the left and right mouse buttons to make it more natural to use my index finger for clicking. Normal computer navigation wasn't too bad, but it soon became clear that many applications and games require both use of the mouse and keyboard at the same time. Let's take Blender for example. Ideally, I would have my left hand ready to input keyboard shortcuts and my right hand ready to select things with the mouse. But with only my left hand, it became this awkward back and forth between mouse and keyboard to manipulate the scene. While Blender does allow modification to viewport navigation and key rebindings, could it do more? Same goes for game engines. I currently use Unreal at work and Godot for personal projects. Both engines use the same standard for 3D viewport navigation, WASD for flying around, and mouse to control the direction. While both still have an orbit option as well, I still found myself doing this awkward dance of pressing F to focus on an actor and then orbit around it, find the next actor, focus on that, in this sort of difficult crawl across the 3D view. While adaptations such as foot mice exist that could help with controlling my computer, my arm should hopefully get better with time. Therefore, needing any extra adaptations would be a bit excessive in my opinion. Thankfully, I'm much more able to use my right hand again to use the mouse, so most of the issues I've mentioned won't be as much as a hindrance to me using the computer and these game engines. Out of curiosity, I did a quick search to see if game engine accessibility is something that has been taken into consideration. This games industry article from 2024 asks this exact question. Based on a survey, it found that 29% of respondents considered themselves to have a disability of some kind. Meanwhile, engine tooling still lags behind with accessibility features. Notably, engines such as Godot just lack the resources to spend the time to develop any sort of engine accessibility further. Thankfully, most major engines support tools such as screen readers to help developers that suffer from vision impairment. I've also learnt about MCP servers, or Model Context Protocols, for various game engines, using large language models to control the software. While I'm not a fan of AI personally, I could see how an MCP could assist with controlling a game engine. That said, given my recent injury, it's made me appreciate those who have disabilities more. The very act of being able to rebind a key or change a setting could be the difference between them being able to partake in either making or playing games. For Isles of Rain, my latest game I'm working on, I made sure to implement key rebinding, which I now know should give more players the ability to play it. I also aim to add more features, such as an auto-rotating camera and an automatic jump. So let me know, are you a game developer that's had to adapt to use an engine? Let me know in the comments what aspects you've had to overcome. Were there any limitations that these engines prevented you from developing your own games? I'm curious to know. Maybe this will open things up for discussion, and perhaps these engines may eventually add extra features to make game development even more accessible to everyone.